Hi, I'm Brett from papercartridges.com, and today we're going to get a little pedantic and technical, and I'm going to explain why this bullet is a mini ball and this one is not a mini ball. So I guess the best place to start is, what is a mini ball? And we've got to go back to 1849 to when a French captain in the Chasseurs d'Orleans, you probably heard of him, Claude-Etienne Minié. He's a rifle instructor, and he's also working very closely on new rifle and bullet designs at this time with Tamisier, Tauvenant, Delvigne, and others. French rifles, the most common French rifle of this era was the carbine à tige, and they had a metal pillar in the breech. And to expand the bullet, the soldier had to smack it a couple of times with his ramrod, and that would force the bullet to expand into the rifling on top of the pillar. So this system worked, but it really wasn't great. Uh, and that was when Captain Minié gets a flash of inspiration, and he basically takes the pillar out of the gun and sticks it in the back of the bullet in the hollow space. Now, Minié didn't invent the hollow base bullet himself. That was actually discovered about a decade earlier by Henri Gustave Delvigne. But by putting a half sphere shaped iron cup into the hollow space of the bullet, the high pressure blast that's made when the burning gunpowder ignites, that drives the iron cup forward, and that forced the bullet to expand into the riflings. Now, rifles can be loaded even faster. Soldiers don't have to physically smash the bullet down onto that pillar. The guns were simpler to make. They don't have that pillar in them. And best of all, this new bullet, the Minié ball with the iron cup, is much more accurate. And this caused an immediate revolution in weapons technology. It's just sort of like how we talk about the latest high-tech stuff today. You know, we're talking about drones or autonomous fighting vehicles. Well, back in the 1850s, the really cool thing, the new thing on the battlefield, is the Minié rifle and the Minié bullet. And he receives a big cash reward from Emperor Napoleon III. The Minié rifles get used in the Crimean War, in the Indian Rebellion, in the Italian wars in 1859. Everyone's writing and reading about these cool new Minié rifles and the Minié bullets. So even by the mid 1850s, well before the American Civil War, Minié is already a household word. The Minié bullet was not perfect, though. That iron cup that helped it expand is expensive to make, and sometimes it gets blown straight through the entire bullet, which is a big problem if you know anything about shooting rifle muskets. They did try experimenting with simple hollow bullets, like the type discovered by Delvigne earlier, but those would only expand maybe 3 or 4 thousandths of an inch. And that meant the guns and the bullets would all have to be mass produced to a level of precision that simply was not available in the mid 1850s. So while the simple Delvigne bullets would be nice to have, everyone is pretty much stuck with using the iron cup in the base of their bullets, or some kind of similar expanding plug. The British used a wooden and then later a clay plug, for instance. But everyone, that is, except the United States, and there's a couple other exceptions, but talking big picture, in the 1850s, the United States was rapidly becoming the world leader in industry and mechanical engineering. And the United States also has the benefit of having just a ridiculously small army, something like 16,000 soldiers. By European standards, that's laughable. But this means that US military rifles can be carefully produced almost entirely by machinery with very high levels of precision. You don't really need to make very many of them. And if you can make the gun and the bullet with very precise tolerances, you don't need that iron cup in the Minié ball. So the iron cup was redundant. The acting master armorer at Harper's Ferry, named James Burton, he was a brilliant machinist, and he proposed adopting a Delvigne style hollow based bullet, very simple, to go along with the US Army's new Model 1855 rifle musket. And then Lieutenant Benton of the Ordnance Department tweaks the design about a year later, simplifying the shape of the cavity. And this is the bullet that would go on to be used throughout the American Civil War. They're even more accurate than the Minié bullet was with its iron cups, and they're also cheaper and easier to make. This made the bullet well suited for the mass wartime production that would occur starting in 1861. And in fact, this remains the deadliest bullet in American military history by far. More American soldiers get killed or wounded by these than anything that the British or Germans or Japanese or anyone else shot at us, by a couple orders of magnitude. But Americans have always called this bullet the mini ball. And to be utterly and kind of absurdly pedantic, what we really should call this is the Delvigne-Tamisier-Burton-Benton bullet. So Delvigne discovers the hollow base, will expand the bullet by the pressure of the gas alone. Tamisier adds the rings or cannelures around the bullet. Burton proposed the simple hollow base design for the U.S. Army use, and then Benton modified the shape of that hollow into what we see in most Civil War bullets. So externally, it does look a lot like the actual Minié bullet, and that's simply why the name stuck. And of course, in the United States, North and South, we butchered the pronunciation from Minié to Mini. We even spelled it Mini. That's why I chose this coffee cup today with the label from the Augusta Arsenal, where the the spelling of Mini was actually part of the ammunition labels. So what you thought were mini balls aren't. But I will concede Delvigne-Tamisier-Burton-Benton doesn't quite flow off the tongue as nicely as Minié. So I will forgive you if you want to continue calling these bullets mini balls or Burton bullets. Either one is correct, and it's even the period correct name. They were calling these mini balls even before the South fired on Fort Sumter. So it is technically incorrect, but not by too far off. And if you are interested in this kind of hyper bullet nerdy stuff, I did write a little bit more about Delvigne and the design of the modern rifle musket bullet leading up to and including the American bullets in the Civil War in my book, The English Cartridge. I don't even know what it is on Amazon. It's like $12. I price it really, really, really cheap. But there's about 280 pages of nerdy bullet discussion in there if you would like to know more. But thanks for watching. I hope that was useful or entertaining and not too boring for you. If you could do me a favor, if you could like and subscribe to the video, appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Wait, stop the music. Stop the music. I forgot something. And as you can see, I went back to work and then realized I forgot to explain what the differences were between the two bullets in the thumbnail for this video. So this is just a normal Burton bullet. It's a 69 caliber rifle musket, Benton Burton bullet, dug from the Lexington battlefield in Missouri in really, really nice shape, nice swaged bullet. And this one, the actual Minié bullet, I'll put some cutaway pictures here. You can still see the rusted remnants of the iron plug. And this particular bullet, ironically, is Russian. After the Crimean War, they realized after they got their tails shot off with Minié rifles, we need these things too, and adopted them. So this is a Russian bullet. And there's not much left of the iron plug, which is corroded away. But this, an actual real Minié bullet with the iron cup. So, all right, we can restart the music. Thanks again. Like and subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Have a great day.